Hi, Miss Rini. Oh, yeah. Yeah, ignore this situation. I have to go to the recycling, obviously, and my cat tore apart. Like, what even is this? An eyeshadow thing? An eyeshadow carton. Hey guys, it's Carly, and we are back in my album shelves with, bubble wrap sitting on top of one of my albums. Here's the situation. We are reorganizing the shelf situation again because I'm going to the city this weekend, and if I'm going to the city and I could use a second of like these big shelves, I'm gonna get a second one while I'm there just to like be proactive. And I kind of need to figure out if I need one first. So I like need to figure out how I want to organize this shelf and like do things, and like I need to figure out how I'm gonna organize the shelf like permanently and get like all the groups on the shelf that I want and get all the albums around that I want, because in this giant Tupperware container, let me open it, it's full of albums, as you can see. So like, what albums do I have in here? I have some of my hi baby. I have some of my other versions of my Twice albums. I have my ITZY albums. I do have albums that I want to sell in here. Like, I have my extra Choco Me albums, and I have like duplicates. But I also just do have, and a kitty, I also do just have albums from groups that I do want to put on my shelves and that I do want to keep, but that I have nowhere to put, or I didn't have the space before. So like, I gotta figure that out. And like, really the one shelf that bothers me is this bottom one, which is kind of like a random group of albums. And I also, because this shelf is kind of like my alt shelf, I have all of my alts on this shelf, but I do not have NCT. I don't have NCT Dream on this shelf, so I want to try and put Dream on this big shelf, and then hopefully move like my Twice, I don't know, just move stuff around, or figure out how I want the shelf to actually be and to actually display my albums, and see if I can, you know, like organize things in a way that allows me to not only have room on this shelf to grow and to like have things nicely displayed, but to also have things displayed on this shelf, but also to like put albums out of that Tupperware container that I want to keep. Because ideally, the only albums I would have in there are the ones that I'm storing until I decide to sell them. But that's not the situation, because I also have albums that I want to sell in this closet and in boxes and all over. So I kind of just want every album that I want to keep, I want to have on my shelves in a way that looks nice. So that's kind of where we're at. And I'm doing it now. This is a Wednesday evening. I'm starting now because I'm leaving on Saturday, and if I need a new shelf on Saturday, I want to get a new shelf on Saturday. So that's the plan. I don't know where this vlog is going to go because I don't know how the organization process is going to go, but we will find out, I guess. We'll see. I'm not sure how it's going to go. I kind of think I know how I want to like redo. I like this WJSN shelf. Like, I have no issues with this WJSN shelf. But I think like I could save a lot of space if I took advantage of some of the similarly, my cat is chewing a cardboard box behind me, like the similarly sized albums. Same thing with GOT7, because they have like just a big chunk of like albums like this size. So we'll see how that goes. I think if I could get all of my GOT7 albums onto one shelf, that would help, I think. So yeah, we'll see. If I don't get a new shelf now, I will get a new shelf eventually. So this isn't like a, you know, like a permanent fix. This part, this organization part before, is more of a see what I'm working with sort of thing. See how much space I have, how many albums I want to keep, and if I can organize it with the space I have in a way that makes sense. If not, like, I don't know, there's nothing wrong with getting another shelf. I just don't. Okay, here's my thing. Because this shelf, I do still have space on in between these two shelves, so I should be able to make it work. And if it's like maybe just like a little bit congested for a little bit, like that's not a big deal. I just like hesitate to buy a new shelf right now before I know how much stuff would be on that new shelf. Because I don't want to buy a new shelf if it's gonna be pretty much empty except for like one shelf, if you get what I mean. Like if I'm buying a new shelf, I'm buying it because I need it right now, not because, oh, I'll need it in the future. Like, yeah, it'll be empty now, but you know, eventually I'll need it, that sort of thing. So we'll see. And you know what? Like these shelves are pretty tall, which is why I think like stacking albums up and down the shelf will make more space than like across. What is this? Oh, trade. Okay. So yeah. We'll see how it goes. I think the amount of, like, I have so much stuff all over I need to clean. And those are like a million of those, like, what are they? Like, Promise 9 shop things. I don't know. But yeah, we will do that. So I'll probably check in when I know for sure what, like, the situation is in terms of, like, my albums and, like, how much space I have. I'll probably check in then. I'll check in either to do a shelf tour or to let you know that we're gonna go buy a new shelf. So yeah, I will see you guys then. Reenie, hi! Hi, Reenie. Okay, bye. I'm happy to report, this room is still a disaster and it snowed like a foot in the past 2 days. So I don't know when this recycling is going out, but so I'm back again. You can't see my face because it's not pretty right now. I picked at some cystic acne spots and that's the worst. I recommend you don't do that. Anyway, I'm happy to report that I do not need to buy a new shelf. We have the shelves up and organized. We have everything except for that one little lone decoration that's up there. But we have everything that I want to keep on my shelves, which means that Tupperware container, or Tuppermade, Rubbermaid, that Rubbermaid tub is like pretty much empty, which is so exciting. And surprisingly, I do have some space on these shelves to like, and there's a kitty. Oh, she said, oh no, I almost fell. Hi, Miss Luna. Oh my gosh, Luna, you're so pretty. Oh my goodness. Oh, you're so pretty. Are you gonna jump? Oh, there's the other one. Rainy. Oh my good. Ow. I sat on some boxes. Rainy. Oh, she said, I think I hear some. Oh, I gotta clean myself. Oh, I gotta go. I hear someone. Oh, Luna said, wait for me. Mom sat on some boxes. That means I have to investigate. Anyway, we got everything on the shelves. There's surprisingly quite a bit of room left. And I'm not going to need a second shelf for now. Eventually I will, but I've kind of came to the conclusion that if I did buy a new shelf, what collections would I put on it that aren't already on these shelves? Or what collections are like growing so much that they're not going to fit on these shelves? And the reality is nothing, because I went through the albums that I currently have on the way or that I know I'm going to have soon, which are 2 WJSN albums, which will go there. My NCT Dream albums, which for sure have 2 photo book versions. I'm going to also say 2 Kinos and probably a jewel case again, which I can make space there for. A New East album, which I don't want to talk about New East right now. I'm like past sad and like into my like, oh my god, Pledis, how could you do this to me phase. I'm like, Pledis, I trusted you, and now I'm just... Anyway, so I do have my new East album on the way, which will go there. And I also have my Cherry Bullet albums on the way, which will go here, and I do have room here for them. So I have space right now, and if I were to get another big shelf, there would be no point because nothing would be on it right now, if you get what I mean. Anyway, long story short, I will give you guys a quick tour. So up at the very top, nothing really changed. I have my season's greeting boxes from last year and this year for WJSN. Jin Young's Here Here photo book and Iceland's D-Icon magazine, as well as Wavy's Our Home photo book and WJSN's Ego Off Persona On photo books. The top shelf has actually not changed at all. My GOT7 shelves really didn't change. This is GOT7 from Debut Until Die, featuring signed Agian Present You album, a JB Gotun doll, and my GOT7 light stick. Then we come down, and this is the rest of my GOT7 group albums and solo albums, as well as the start of my WJSN albums, because I realized I was taking up so much space by trying to have like one shelf per group. And right now with my like shelf space, I don't really have room to go one group per shelf. And it actually just makes a lot more sense for me to like put all my GOT7 albums, and as soon as I'm done GOT7, go right into WJSN, and then once I'm done WJSN, go right into the next group. Because I don't know if you remember, but this shelf down here was pretty much empty, and now it's not. So I feel good about this. But anyway, new second shelf, we have my GOT7 Breath of Love Last Piece albums, all 7 covers, Yugium's Point of View U, Young J's Colors from Ours, JB's like Somo Fume album, as well as his Def album, Bam Bam's Ribbon albums, as well as his second album, which I think is just called Bam Bam. So that is everything for GOT7, and then right away we do my kind of like tall WJSN albums, so ones that are more like in the rectangle shape, you know, instead of like in more of a jewel case shape. These are more in a photo book shape. So we have we have Would You Like The Secret from WJSN, one version of Happy Moment, all 3 versions of WJ Stay, all 3 versions of As You Wish, all 3 versions of Neverland, and all 3 versions of Unnatural. Then, for the rest of my WJSN collection, we have to go down to the third shelf. So down here on this side, we have like all my WJSN albums that are kind of like in a square packaging. So we have Dream Your Dream, all 3 versions of WJ Please, 1 version of For the Summer, Chocome's Humph album, The Black's My Attitude album, and Chocome's Super Yuppers album, as well as Iceland's 12 album, just because I don't have any of their other like Japanese stuff and I didn't know what to do with it. I also have their mini light stick and their version 2 light stick. Then right after WJSN, I have my Promise stuff, which now takes up the proper amount of space that it should instead of like a whole shelf for this. So I have both versions of Fun Factory, both versions of My Little Society, 9-Way Ticket, Talk and Talk, Midnight Guest, and the Midnight Guest jewel cases. Then we have the Fun Factory Kinos, My Little Society, 9-Way Ticket, and Midnight Guest Kinos, which go there. And behind them, we have both my Agian signed albums. So I have one from My Little Society and one from 9-Way Ticket. And you can see where I failed at nailing the backboard onto this shelf. So cool. Then we go down to my cat's trying to break into a box. Do you want to show the world? What are you doing? I know, I haven't thrown away, or I haven't recycled cards yet. I know. Do not fall in there, Reenie. And then down to the third shelf. So part of what I wanted to do was like get all of my alt groups onto this shelf, which I was able to do as soon as I moved NCT Dream over, which is exciting. So on the I can't talk today. On the third shelf, we have my IZ*ONE albums. So we have One Rick Diary, Bloom Eyes, and One Reeler. That's all the IZ*ONE albums I have. Then we have my NCT Dream stuff. So I have both versions of Hello Future photo book. The first, We Go Up, Boom. I had to lock her out of here, so we'll see how that goes. But anyway, we have We Boom, Reload, Hot Sauce, the Hot Sauce jewel cases, Reload, Kino, Hello Future Kinos, and my Jaemin photo book, as well as my little Runjin jewel case. And behind there we have my playbook, which I just didn't have anywhere to put. Then we move down to the bottom shelf, which is SHINee and New East. I managed to like keep it only to SHINee and New East. So over here we have all of my SMU Express albums. So everything I got there goes there. Then we have SHINee's Atlantis and SHINee's Story of Light series. Oh my god, this makes me so sad. And then we move into my New East stuff. And like, of course, right when I was like, I should put my New East stuff back out, Pledis goes and does this. Like, I can't help but think obviously Pledis had some part in it, but like, nothing about New East disbandment makes sense to me, and it makes me sad. So for my New East albums, I have New East W, Who You, New East W Awaken, then I have Happily, The Table, The Nocturne, and Romanticize. So that's the bottom shelf, pretty straightforward, just New East and SHINee right now. This shelf won't be growing very much because New East, I don't even want to think about it, and SHINee is super inactive right now, but that's fine. Then we will go to the skinny tall shelf, which also has everything I want on it. So the top shelf is where I keep my Lehigh albums and my Oh My Girl albums. So I have Lehigh's 24 degrees Celsius album, as well as her For Only album, which I store like that because it's very, like, I don't know if you can see it, but like, I don't think so. This is like 3D. It's like a bubble. I don't know. It's confusing. Anyway, and then I also have Oh My Girl, Dear Oh My Girl album, so Dun Dun Dance. Then we move down, and this is the start of my NCT full group collection, as well as my Wavy collection. So I have Empathy, Resonance Part 2, and then the Universe jewel cases. So I have Runjin's Universe jewel case, and this is Jaemin and Yang Yang over here. I'm still, did I step on? I'm still waiting for my actual like photo book version of Universe, but I do have that on the way. Then we have Wavy. So I have every album for Wavy. I have Take Off, Take Over the Moon, the sequel, both versions of Awaken the World. Then we come down to the next shelf for the rest. And we have Kickback, both versions, and both versions of the Kino. So then we have some of my girl group albums. And I kind of wanted to make like one shelf for like any girl group that was part of like Produce 48 that I collect. Like Produce 48 / like survival shows, but the Bugaboo album was too short to put there for some reason, and I needed somewhere to put Dreams Alive, so this really isn't a Produce 48 section because Dream Note was never in Produce 48, but you get what I was going for. So I have Cherry Bullet. So for Cherry Bullet, I have Let's Play Cherry Bullet, Love Adventure, and Cherry Rush. Then I have both versions of Somi's XOXO album. I have Dream Note's Dream Alive album and both versions of IVE's 11 album. Then we move down to the rest of my girl groups. So I have Bugaboo's Bugaboo album, I have 2 versions of aespa's Savage album. Then I have Itzy, It's Icy, It's Me, Not Shy, and Loco, or I believe that's called Crazy in Love. Then we move down, and this is my Twice shelf, which is like gonna have to expand when Twice have another comeback. I'm honestly gonna sit here and say when Twice have another comeback that I have to buy, that's probably when I'll get another shelf. I think it'll be when Twice has a comeback. But this is what I have for Twice. So I have one version of Yes. I thought that was my Yes or Yes album for a second. I was trying to figure out what album this was. Oh my god. I should not be filming right now. I have one version of Fancy You, Yes or Yes, Feel Special, More and More, all 3 versions of Eyes Wide Open, all 3 versions of Taste of Love, and then all 3 versions of Formula of Love. So that's my Twice collection. Then we move down, and this is where I keep the boys and On and Off for the most part, plus some of my taller aespa and Itzy albums. So I do have the photo book version of Savage and Itzy's Mafia in the Morning album here. Then I have The Boys, DDD, The Stealer, Thrilling, Reveal, Maverick, and Bloom Bloom. Then I have, for On and Off, both versions of City of On and Off, Spin-Off, Popping, and Goosebumps. And then that is my NCT Dream Tumblr, Dream Cafe Tumblr, or Cafe Dream Tumblr that I just like haven't put anywhere, so cool. So yeah, that's my new shelf setup, and I feel like it makes a lot more sense for me. The shelves feel a lot less empty. I have, like, I think the part that was honestly bothering me the most is that I didn't have albums displayed for groups that I really like. They just might not be in alt. So, like, I didn't have Cherry Bullet or Somi or Ivy or Dream Note or Lehigh or Itzy or all of my Twice albums out. You know, like, having those out makes me feel better. The shelves look for sure fuller like this, but I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. And just based off of who I know is having a comeback right away and like whose albums I need to buy and whose albums I have bought, I don't think I'll be needing a shelf at least in the foreseeable future. But I don't know, because when Chaeyeon re-debuts and Twice have a comeback and the boys have their like comeback that they have every other day, and eventually I will need a new shelf, but for now, these are what my shelves look like. I really like it. I'm happy. They're fuller, but they're not like so full that I can't take a couple of more comebacks before I like break down and buy a new shelf, if you get what I mean. But yeah, those are my shelves. You did not get to come on a haul with me. I have to let my cat in the room. This is what happens. You did not get to come shopping with me, but she's like, I want to come in here. You locked me out. This room is a disaster. We're going to ignore it. But I hope that's okay. I turned off the light before I finished my outro, which is my bad. But yeah, I'm super happy with the setup. It was good for me to like get everything I wanted out. And I My cat's up there again trying to break into a box. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, even though it's like disjointed and had no direction at the start. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye!